Welcome to School of Thumb, the series that asks plant experts to solve your common garden guesswork. This episode, we spill the dirt on how to cool your backyard and plant your way to sun-safe play. Let's meet the experts from Queensland who've got the goods when it comes to gardening. Christian, the plant nursery natural. Zoe, the serene green stylist. And Wayne, the subtropical specialist. This episode, we're visiting Scott. His backyard is being baked by the sun and he needs some help finding a bit of shade for his family. Should we take a look?
Definitely.
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
It is such a good-sized yard.
Yeah.
Wow, look at the opportunities there.
It's a beautiful big space for kids to play in.
Yeah.
How old are your kids again?
3 in 1.
So you've got a decade of playing in this backyard ahead of you.
For sure.
The kids love being out in the yard.
Yeah, the kids spend a lot of time out there. What would you like to do to the space?
Well, we'd like to have some larger trees. It gets really hot here in summer and just having a bit more shade in the backyard would be nice.
Okay, so shade to protect your kids
Yeah.
while they play.
Yeah.
You know what? They're going to play in the trees as well. I know that I spent a lot of time climbing trees as a kid.
Oh, lots of my childhood was spent in trees. To have that in our yard, yeah.
And of course, they're so little, those trees are going to grow with them. I feel like it's a right. Kids have the right to have a branch in their backyard to climb on. You've got a really neat aesthetic now. You don't mind the idea of wilding it up a little bit.
No, not at all. There's plenty of birds in the area and the kids love seeing the birds fly around. If we could bring them into our yard, I reckon that'd be pretty special.
Okay, experts, there you have it. Scott and his family need some trees to provide shade and a bit of play space for the kids. All right, experts, how can we pick the perfect tree for Scott and his family?
Look, a few ideas come to mind.
Okay.
A box brush, which will be great for the kids growing up, provide some good cover as well. Another one might be a white aspen, more of a shade tree, but also a really nice feature tree.
Putting grevilleas in that garden would bring the lorikeets in, and the children would love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The grevilleas, such a big family. You've got a huge range of sizes, colours, textures.
A good way to get shade quick might be with some lily-pillies. They're not going to break the bank. You can put up a nice screen along one side of your fence, particularly where you get a lot of sun, and that'll be a good way to start to get that going, while you've got maybe another feature tree that matures over the next couple of years, decades.
Obviously, he'd love the tree to be big already, but a mature plant's pretty pricey. So what are the options?
Look, if you can afford a big tree, it's great. It gets you ahead a little bit. If not, small trees, they're affordable. You give them a little bit more love at the start and they'll repay that by shooting off, growing really well.
What do you do to make that soil really happy for the tree?
There's some fantastic products available now, which are microorganisms, which introduce bugs to the soil.
Hang on, you're buying a bag of bugs?
Well, you're buying a bag of microorganisms that feed the worms, which feed the soil. So you're preparing that soil for future growth of the trees that Kristen is talking about, which will enhance their growth.
Christian, I think I'm going to get you to show me how easy it is to have the perfect tree. Let's go to the workbench.
Sounds great.
All right, tell me all about the perfect shade tree.
Well, we've got this Humundicudon here, and the way to make this a perfect shade tree is to crown lift it. So what that involves is taking off the younger branches, the lower branches here, to give yourself a nice crown, something the kids can play under. It's going to increase your canopy, and if you do it right, by the end of it, you'll have a nice strong branch where the kids can chuck a tire swing on.
Okay, love it. So as anyone who's ever cut their own fringe knows, it's important to know where to stop. So how many branches do you cut off?
It depends on the size of your tree and where you're at. I'd be keeping it around here. It's a young tree, it's still got lots of growing to do. You can always come back the next year and start to hack away at that fringe a little bit more. You want to get rid of the dead branches first. Get in there, up nice and close to the tree, remove your branches as you go. It's really that simple.
And then you end up with, you know, a tree that looks like a child's picture of a tree, right?
Exactly. You'll get that nice shade that you're looking for while not losing any space underneath it.
Well, Scott, there are some hot tips to give you a cooler backyard. Can't wait to see how it turns out. For our next lesson at School of Thumb, our experts help Vanessa take her patio from so-so to sensational by adding eye-popping plants to do away with the everyday. For more inspiration, visit us on our socials. And don't forget to keep an eye on your local nursery. There could be a School of Thumb forum right on your doorstep. Until next time, happy growing, Australia.